How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we got ourselves some news we want to talk about. It's going to be a bunch of previews for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Teal Mask DLC. Yes, these are literally previews, which means this is stuff that's actually out. We're going to move our monitor here down a little bit so I can see you guys better. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some massive news to talk about. Hope you guys are ready. Hope you're excited. Let's get into this. First things first, there's been a bunch of different posts. Now, some of you guys may have already seen some of this stuff. This is about the Switch 2. We're going to open this up separately and put it on the side here. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's first talk about the most recent things. First of all, there'll be new clothing options in each part of the DLC. So, yes, there is new clothing options. We already know about some of these. You guys have already seen them, of course, in the DLC trailers and stuff. And this is all from previews, by the way. This is not leaks per se. This is like literally previews that like companies and media are getting their hands on, and we're just going to be going through this. So there are new clothing options. There's both new versus wild Pokemon and versus standard trainer music in Kitakami. So there is new versus music. So that's like the music that plays whenever you go into a battle with a Pokemon or a trainer or whatever. That's going to be actually new. There's going to be brand new music for that, which is great. Then there's a question here about new TMs in the Teal Mask. Toxic is a TM again, and more TMs like Grassy Glide, Burning Jealousy, Lash Out, and Poltergeist. And here we have some questions, of course. Some people do ask some questions down here about it. How many are there? Are these all the returning ones? No, there are dozens more. There's loads more coming back, but those are some of the highlights that I guess you brought up. We continue on up here. As DLC takes place in a different region, there's new Nurse Joy. So yes, but I guess he says new Joy Nurse, but yeah, Nurse Joy. So yeah, this is going to be the new Nurse Joy, which is different, definitely different looking character than usual. Looks more, I don't know, like, looks kind of like one of those like hip-hop trainer classes, if you guys remember those. Looks kind of like one of those hip-hop trainer classes. I don't know. Either way. Next up, we got a selfie stick. So there's literally a selfie stick item in the game. You guys can literally see it below here, which is pretty bizarre, but yeah, that exists. Let's see, what's next though? We also have, didn't we already know this? Yes, and he just thinks it's funny. Of course, there's also the fact here, an update from Cerebi. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Teal Mask have recently previewed by Japanese media outlets. Some new information has been released, including some new TMs. But yeah, so that's just, again, where it's all coming from, in case you're wondering about this information. Continue on. Let's see. Somebody asked, wonder why these masks are not usable for the Loyal 3? Who says they aren't? And that's, I guess, in regards to these masks we see right here. Because yes, these are new look at the potential Terra masks, plus Pikachu and Eevee. So you guys can see, we have these masks that can be worn. You can actually wear those as an outfit. That's a part of like an outfit you can wear in there, so that's pretty cool, but it's not the end of it all. That's not the only thing. There is also more. Of course, we have the Pikachu and Eevee as well. Somebody asked, is this leaks? But no, it's just media previews. But again, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to go through here. Like we said, the TMs, like they got the brand new ones, the returning ones, the DLC clothing, the fact that we're gonna have brand new music into Kitakami, which is great. DLC takes place in a different region. There's new Nurse Joy, the selfie stick itself, and of course, remember this character on the left here. This character might be important for the story, okay? Because this character has earrings that look just like Terapagos, the brand new third legendary. And yeah, overall, it seems like we've gone through most of that stuff. Now, let's go over here to specifically My Nintendo News and Cerebi, as both have gotten like a little breakdowns of all things. So they start things off here. Some new previews were released, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet TLC Mask, from outlets in Japan. These include the further details expanding on elements revealed recently, but also confirm some TMs are in the game. Famitsu notes that the moves Grassy Glide, Burning Jealousy, Lash Out, and Poltergeist were seen, as well as Toxic. It also confirms that more clothing, hairstyles, and picnic supplies will be available in the Kitakami Center. Okay, you can now rearrange chairs at the picnic table for whatever reason. If you want to do that, that's available. We'll continue on. In addition to Mochi, when completing the Ogre Alston minigame, where you pop balloons, you can also get Terra Shards. There are 3 difficulties: beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and you can play with other players to complete it. Okay, so you can do it together with people. There's also new items, including one that increases the experience points Pokemon gain in battle when held. Okay, but wouldn't that just... Okay, fair enough. So there's a new item that increases the EXP you gain when actually battling if you hold it. Fair enough. When your Pokemon pose for a photo, when you have the Roto stick, you can also select the song which will cause your Pokemon to react. You can also share photos amongst friends when connected via a union circle. We'll provide more details on the DLC as it comes. And that's basically what they had in regards to that. That's like pretty much it in terms of the previews. there's some other stuff to talk about. Let's quickly go through this. We're just going to skim over this. We're still going to talk about Pokemon, don't worry. But there's more details about Switch 2. The Switch 2 dev kits have been here a while. It is backwards compatible, new cartridge format, new camera feature, and Final Fantasy VII Remake looks and runs like a PS5 game on the Switch 2 dev kit. Port took no time, I'm told. Could be a launch game, not sure. And this is from Recetera. So there's somebody, I guess, an insider who's saying this about some of this stuff. But this is a very reliable source, by the way, in terms of, like, you know, just where this is all coming from. But yeah, so the Switch 2 would be massive for Pokemon, okay? That means that whatever game we get next year is probably going to be the final Pokemon game. Final Pokemon games. They could do 2 games in 1 year. Keep in mind, they've done that before. We literally had that with, you know, BDSP and Legends Arceus. They basically released in the same year. I mean, yes, literally not as in one released in the beginning of 2022 and the other one at the end of 2021. But my point still stands that they legitimately were just 2 months between each other. That's like nothing. There wasn't a literal 365 days from the first to the second game. So we've had very close proximity games like that. So we could get 2 more games next year. I personally think we're going to get Johto, and maybe we're going to get a Unova Legends type game, something like that. Who knows? But I just don't think we're going to see Unova for a bit longer. And I think we're going to have to wait for the remakes or anything to do with Unova after 2025 and 2026. So like 2027, nice, and I would say is when you should expect that, which is still a long ways to go, unless they decide to switch their format and how they release stuff, which, I don't know, they might do that, but that's not something I really know much about in this regard, so there's not really much I can say. Now, I'm going to go back here, because there's actually this post right here we have from none else than, of course, RuffledRowlit. Now, RuffledRowlit, for those who do not know, is a legitimate leaker. Now, he posted this on the 4th of August, so this was today. Teaser 1. Type of this Pokemon is, at the moonless night in April 2023, Detective Pikachu failed to get the key to solve the case. Could you help him to solve it? New clue, it's not revealed yet. And then he shows a picture here of the, I guess, a bunch of characters from Pokemon Masters EX, which is a mobile game, and he says the last round. And here again, he just shows this, and then he, in the second image, includes a, I guess, the dark type logo and the ground type logo, I'm guessing. That's what I'm looking at. And then people are saying, like, for Detective Pikachu, moonless equals new moon, which is blue, so water type. Think who leaked the date of the presents, he says, which is a random question. Somebody says, so, well, it's the dark type. The trailer gives us a clue, Puccina. It's to do with night, midnight evolution, or form change, but must be Mightina. Ku can't give us direct answers or he'd get in trouble for whoever is giving him the info. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about here. Are we talking about like Ursaluna's typing, or what is the deal here? It's not very clear because he posted this today. But here's what, of course, our boy Soul says. He goes on and says, starting to finish up covering all the recent leaks, it's important to note there's no confirmation anywhere of what the Blood Moon Ursaluna's typing will be. The only thing we know for sure is it will be a combination of any of these 4 types: normal, ground, steel, dark, as Ku suggests below. It's a dex entry makes it sound like a ground steel type. However, many times when a dex entry says something like it protects itself with mud that is as hard as iron, it doesn't necessarily mean it's steel type, but it's just a descriptive phrase saying its mud uses it is as hard as steel, or metal in this case. In fact, it's saying the mud has turned into steel, but it's still mud though. Now, based on its appearance, you might assume it's a ground dark type. Instead, it looks like a half-dead Ursaluna after all, or I guess Ursaring. But ultimately, I personally think it won't change types at all. Most normal alternate forms of Pokemon do not change types, like Dusk, Lycanroc, Ash Greninja. So it seems likely this is a form of Ursaluna. It's just still a normal ground type. This is also supported by its ability taking advantage of using normal and fighting type moves, being able to hit ghost types, which is true. That's the new ability for it. Continues on. The only other alternative I can see is to tease to the mud being like iron would be hinting at this being a normal steel type. The main reason I think this is because of Ku's riddle. Moonless night equals Ursaluna. Detective equals Steven Detective / Stoutland sync pair. The key equals Shauna and Klefki sync pair, so normal steel Ursaluna, which connects to those images we saw earlier. So is it going to be a normal steel type? No clue. We're going to have to wait and see if that develops in any sort of way, shape, or form. Right now, there is no information on it, and there's no way for me to like really break this down any further. We're going to go, of course, onto Soul's here page, see if there's anything else. First up here is Psychic type featured next month. Meloetta, I didn't realize it was going to be different artists every time. I love this art. They even made a concept art sheet, which is so good. And this, I think this is a weird thing they're doing. It's on Cerebi as well. Basically, the first special artwork for the Pokemon featuring Hatsune Miku Project Voltage collaboration has been released. This artwork will come every weekday for the next 2.5 weeks and feature concepts of what if Hatsune Miku was a Pokemon trainer. Okay, so they're literally taking stuff we do on YouTube, like little videos we make, and turning into reality. It's weird, but either way. So, next up is another post from Soul who says, see, I wasn't lying about it looking better. A Japanese news article dropped with 41 new screenshots, and this does look clean. I'm not gonna lie. The DLC does look better. It still is not up there, because they can realistically not go beyond, but it does look better, okay? I like the foliage. I like them just having all the grass and like the bushes and everything, just kind of making it look more realistic and real. Because if you look outside right now, you know, I mean, unless you live in a place which is like just empty and I don't know, but if you look at any forest anywhere, right, it's not going to be just exactly identical all over the place. There's going to be a lot of foliage. There's going to be some moss. There's going to be grass. There's going to be different sorts of, you know, just kind of, I don't know, things just growing, right? It's going to be a lot of different foliage around to make it look realistic. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet can really feel like just flat and or samey a lot of the time, but it's nice to see that they're actually trying to make it like, you know, just try to go a little bit all out on it in some sense, because the rest of the graphics just look the same. I don't really see much of a difference besides like the fact that they've put more time into actually putting more stuff in, right? Filling it in more, which is nice, because that does make it look better. Of course, here it does look choppy because it is a screenshot, so I can't judge it off of that, but yeah, either way. He also has another few images here, which other people haven't shared, so let's take a look at these. I'm going to try to share all the best screenshots and info here too. So TM for Toxic is returning. New moves, so Grassy Glide, Burning Jealousy, Last Shot, Poltergeist. We'll get Terra Shards in the Ogre Oustin minigame, new clothes, hairstyles, picnic tools, new items that increase the Pokemon experience points that when held in battle, right? So we already know this info. Again, here we can see the I guess the orchards, whatever, where the apples are growing. With the path going up to the right there, we can kind of see that there's a path going up there. This is probably we're going to find Applin and Diplin and stuff. Here's the mini game again with the ogres. You gotta you know, ride into and crush. There's going to be a little mini game you can do. Then here we're running up to the city again. I'm wondering if this is the same city, like the main one, or if this is like the hub city, or if there's going to be more than this one, because we know there's other locations listed. We've seen the leaks and stuff, but I wonder if there is going to be more to it. Either way, the Loyal 3 statue in game, a Chingling ornament or cake, our Kitakami dorms, and the new Kitakami Pokestops and centers. So here we see the actual little statues. We have some sort of building. This is going to be probably the school we're going to go to. It does kind of remind me a little bit of like what the inside of like Japanese schools kind of look like this design, or not even a Japanese school, almost like a Japanese like community center, I want to say, like a community center where you would go to, like, oh, you know, like if they're holding a festival or something, it would be planned here, or like people from the community members and stuff like that. You know, people that work would just come here and, like, you know, prepare things or plan things out. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this. It's kind of the vibe, which also is yeah, the freaking the little Chingling like cake on the side is pretty cute. Either way, we continue on. Here's, again, the outside of this building, most likely. We have, of course, the healing here, which is very nice. And yeah, that's just generally that. A festival looks fun, too. I'm so ready to play. Much more info to come from the article throughout the day, especially a bunch of screenshots and the rotor-stick camera. So again, here we have the festival area, of course. We look around, and there's seems to be like some sort of game you can do where you can like gamble and try to win, or they're selling ice creams. I can't really tell the difference. And this is the intro sequence when we just arrive, right? So we're coming with a few other students to this place because we're simply going on some sort of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for here? A bit of a field trip, right? Going on an exchange student field trip type deal, which is pretty cool. Now, I don't know if there's much else that's dropped as of this exact moment. If there is more stuff, I think we would have to go to Famitsu itself, because that would be like the most logical place to go to look for more info. But again, you know, we would have to, right now, I'm not really sure. So let's see if we can find maybe the information, because if it's on Famitsu, then we should definitely go and check it out. Because then we can just have a better look on everything that's happening. As I'm honestly pretty curious as to what like else is here. So here, actually, I think we do have access to it. So let's take a look at what's on Famitsu. So here we have more images. And okay, I will be honest, looking at these images right here, right? Like just looking at these images on my screen. Now it's going to be different for you guys, but just looking at these images, they do look clean. Like compared to the images that were posted on Twitter, which like they lose their quality, the game does look pretty clean, man. I just like Scarlet and Violet isn't really the most aesthetically pleasing games in the world, but it can look really good at times. So if we scroll down here, we can see some rice paddies, some rice paddy locations that you can basically explore. Actually, there is 41 images. So I'm just going to move my camera up in the corner here. or actually in this corner, because then you guys don't have to look at me for too much. But yeah, let's go through some of these images. So first up, we got these rice paddies. We can look around and see some of the Pokemon that are in there. I'm going to go back just because I want to take a look at that image again and just open it in a new tab. You guys can see, again, the rice fields are right here. We're going to probably, you know, arrive from somewhere down there. I do wonder where like the out of bounds area will be and what the reasoning will be for like, oh, you can't go in this direction or you can't go in that direction. I do wonder how that's going to be. Also, I wonder how it's going to work with our legendary, right? Like, how are we going to be able? Are we going to be able to ride around, climb things, or are we going to be losing our legendary like Koraidon and Miraidon? Are we going to lose them? Because I can't remember seeing any images of actually us riding them besides like the little mini game. But like, will we still keep their abilities is my question, right? Will we still be able to use the abilities which they've learned? That's kind of the question. Here's the selfie stick, a picture with a little corfish. We'll continue on forward as we have the hill again, which we looked at earlier. We have again the little like shop selling snacks. This is going to be the Pokemart equivalent, I guess. It's really giving like that like small town, Japanese small town vibe, like 100%. Let's see. Here we have another selfie stick image. This time it's the giant like demon mountain in the background, which of course can be related to the story of Momotaro, which is a whole like Japanese folklore thing. We have two Vulpix chilling on a house because why not? Again, it's another selfie stick image. Same thing with this one. We continue forward. This is the image that honestly is such a clean thing, man. Like this little pond just looks beautiful, okay? Just looks beautiful. Not even besides graphics. It just looks like a beautiful place. If it was in real life, I would visit it. We again have the image of the old man. Seems to be like the, I guess, the head chief of the you know, of the town of sorts, of the village. We have again the outside version of the building. We have another image here of, I guess, us first, like with the moment we first arrive as students here. It seems like we're right there. We have the inside again, and then we have a second image of the inside, which specifically seems to show again this this old man who's going to be showing us around, and I guess like, you know, kind of introducing us to where we'll be staying. We got a picture of Carmen. And of course, her brother is over here as well on the next few images. But here she's battling us. It's going to be the battle image against her. Looks solid, looks clean. You know, I don't see none issues with that. Again, here she's just seemingly pissed for losing a battle. Her brother is here in this image too. We continue down to the next one. This image is specifically this giant sign which tells the story of Ogerpon, I guess, and how, like, you know, the story behind it and stuff, and the story that's being told within this, like, you know, within this world, I guess, in some sense, or in this region, right? If you want to call it that. We have again the doggos. I said the doggos, but the legendary 3. We continue on. Again, it's like the actual festival. I think mostly we've seen those festival images. We can always just go through them again real quick, but let's just skip through some of them and get to some of the more interesting stuff. So, for example, here is a full image of the festival from like the just general entrance. We continue on forward, and here we get to see Ogerpon on top of the stairs. Next image is the same thing again. It's just Ogerpon chilling there with, of course, the fake mask on, because we've seen what Ogerpon's real face looks like. And I guess in the story, it's going to throw that mask off right there, because that's what it looks like happens in that image right there. So I think that's what's going to happen. We get to see again the riding around on I guess, Miraidon, Koraidon, whatever, as you're going to be doing like the little mini game. Got a Snorlax just chilling, taking some of the candy, the berries or whatever, which he's not supposed to. He's supposed to stop him. And we continue on to the next image, which I think shows like the action in co-op. Yeah, you can see another player down there and a player right here, and you've got like again something being like, I guess, balloons being popped in this case. Next image shows what seems to be just items that are going to be coming back. This seems to be that item that they referred to that's going to be, I guess, giving your Pokemon, like if you give it to Pokemon, it'll be able to gain more experience points. I think that's the item, because I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong. It could just be a mint or something that I just don't remember. Selfie stick again being shown. We've seen that before. Again, another picture of the character just using the selfie stick, getting a clean photo, I guess. It do be looking clean, not gonna lie. Let's open that up. Yep, it looks clean, not gonna lie, dude. But we'll continue down forward. There's another image here. This is another, I guess, just selfie stick image of the character with is it a Diplin? I guess it's a Diplin. Just chilling. I have another one right here. We're just going to finish through all the images, because why not? I mean, there's a lot of them. Here is just character again doing poses, using the selfie stick. We've got Poltergeist being shown off, which we've already seen quite a few times already. And then we have Diplin just vibing and shooting off some Guga on people. But yeah, then I guess the final images here is, again, the character just chilling in the orchards. And the penultimate one is the healing station. And finally, we have, of course, the brand new, like, clothing. Now, I guess They're not going to show us much more because they're not allowed to. I'm assuming this is like, you know, we got to preview a tiny bit of what's going to be in there, but hey, it's still cool to see. I want to thank you all guys for watching. I'll be making another video if there is more stuff that pops up, but this is going to be it for today. Thank you all for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out and bye-bye.